Hey guys, I'm Russ,
And I'm Angie.
and I am a recovering addict to pornography, masturbation, and other lustful behaviors.
And as his wife and support person, I'm here to help those who have been affected by pornography use and to help bring hope and healing into your life.
Thanks for joining us. On this episode, we are going to talk about medication for pornography addiction.
But first of all, real quick, you guys, we want to apologize for not having a video out last week. We had some technical difficulties, and yeah, we're done talking about that. But here we are today, re-recording.
So, when we talk about medication for pornography addiction, we're not actually talking about the traditional sense of medication as far as pills or shots or drugs. We are actually talking about the daily activities that you need to be consistently working on in order to stay away from pornography addiction and to help with the temptations that come with this addiction. The reason dailies are so important is because they help focus your mind and give you energy to control your thoughts. For me, just like anybody starting a new year, makes resolutions to implement dailies or activities, routines in their life. I was never very successful at it. But one of the things that helped me to establish a good daily routine in the morning was actually the book by Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning. In his book, he covers 6 actions to participate in your morning routine that he calls his lifesavers. That's S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualizations, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing or journaling. He also covers a routine to wake up in the morning to do just before your morning routine to help you wake up and focus on what you need to do. The importance of these 6 actions for me has been to help me focus my thoughts and my energy positively throughout the day to help me manage, just give me the strength to overcome temptations that I have throughout the day. So a little more detail about my routine in the morning. Once I get awake and started, I like to start with an opening song and a prayer, just like we do in our church meetings. And then I go into Hal's routine, starting with silence or a few minutes of meditation. And then affirmations, which I have several apps for. There are many different apps out there that you can use for affirmations, visualizations, journaling. Next, I go into my visualization, which a lot of people recommend making a visual board. I find I can't find a board big enough for my pictures, so I just started a binder where I can have clear sheets and I put pictures in on each sheet and I can add to it or remove it as I need to. And then exercise, again, I use another app, which is a real short, basic exercise in the morning. It's just to wake me up, give me some flexibility and energy to keep going throughout the day. I found that it actually helps. It actually does help exercising in the morning, even for 10 minutes or so. And then reading. I like to read scriptures. It could be scriptures. It could be other church books. It could be self-help, business-related books. Get about 10 minutes of reading in, followed by about 10 minutes of journaling. Right now, I'm going through a therapy program, which accounts for daily journaling. So that's what I've been spending most of my journal time with. And then I like to, once a week, follow up with my own journal, just to cover the last week or so. One more thing I like to do before I go to work is update my sobriety calendar tracker. What I've done is I've taken one of these small whiteboards that I picked up at like Dollar Tree or something, threw some magnets on the back of it so it'll stick to our fridge. And on that whiteboard I have the current date, and then followed by the number of days of sobriety I have. And in the morning, I like to update that, so that also makes Angie aware that it's nice. It's on our fridge. I see it every time I go into the refrigerator. It's nice big visual reminder of my sobriety days. It also helps Angie know that I didn't relapse the day before and that I'm still good. My numbers are still increasing. It's also nice to write little notes on there. I think there's a heart that Angie put on there right now. So I like to do that before I walk out the house. And then throughout the day, I like to listen to positive, uplifting podcasts. They could be spiritually related, relationship improvements. I also have some man improvement that I listen to, guy advice kind of podcast, money, business related, masterminding. One really good podcast also about addiction recovery is our friends Ashlyn and Kobe. Their podcast is The Betrayed, The Addicted, and The Expert.
And they have a lot of good, useful resources. If you guys haven't checked them out, we recommend it.
And other than podcasts, I also like to listen to music. Recently, though, I've actually changed the music I've listened to. One day, a super had some music on a Bluetooth speaker, and we're listening to it, and it didn't feel good. You know, my soul, my spirit didn't really like it. And it was music I had listened to when I was younger. Popular bands and popular songs. They just weren't very positive. So even when I was younger, I thought, oh, Christian music is too Christian, too Jesus for me. But I decided to give it a try, and it's actually really good. All right, so that's about it for my dailies that I do throughout the day.
Alright, so I also have dailies. For me, it's more about managing my anxiety and managing triggers and depression. So they're also really just helpful to help me get through the day. So my routine is not as structured as Russell's. I don't get up at 4 in the morning and get it all done. Okay, he's not up at 4 in the morning. It's like 4:30, but on a good day. But my dailies are more spread out throughout the day. I just try to get what I can done when I can in between taking care of kids and being a maid all day long. But so my dailies include praying. So I pray daily. Scripture study, for me, it's not about actually sitting down and studying scriptures because I feel like I just don't have the time for that right now. But for me, it's just about at least listening to a chapter of scripture. And I do one chapter regardless of if it's 5 verses long or 50 verses long, as long as I get one chapter done. And I find that even just listening to scriptures, even though I'm doing other things while I'm listening to it, helps to just bring the Spirit into our home and into my life, which is obviously really helpful. So I also do an exercise routine. It's about 30 to 35 minutes every day. I get that done usually every morning. That way I can just get it out of the way.
Oh, sorry.
So then one of my dailies is also to listen to music for 10 minutes a day. And that's good uplifting music. Most of the time I'll do that like in the car if I'm going anywhere. But if I'm not planning on going anywhere, then I just put music on in our home and listen to that for 10 minutes at least. Usually it's more than that, but at least 10 minutes. And then for me, lastly, it's to meditate. And I only meditate for 1 minute, which seems very minimal, but that is, again, what I feel like I can do at this time. And so I just use an app and set it and then, meditate with that. I will say though that one thing that I did learn in therapy that I don't do daily but strive to remember about is to take care of myself and to do things for myself. My therapist actually recommended doing one thing for myself before I do anything for anyone else, which is really hard for me because my kids are up at 6:30 in the morning. So, So I try to remember that it's okay if I do something for myself and if I need a break to just focus on myself and my well-being before I take care of others. I always just remember the whole flight attendant thing where they tell you to put on your oxygen mask on before you can help others. That's kind of how I feel about that. And I do feel like that's really helpful when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and feeling like I'm not getting anything done for myself. I need to remember that it's okay for me to do that. Like I said, it's just not something that I do daily. So, and then for me, dailies are not something that I get done, super early in the morning. They're things that are spread out more throughout the day. And I have definitely found out that as I do these things, they help a lot to manage my anxiety, especially to manage just life with 2 kids. Sometimes it gets crazy and it's just not very pleasant, but I feel that as I do these things, it helps me tremendously. So I really recommend it for anyone, even if you're not dealing with any kind of addiction.
So guys, those are kind of our individual dailies that we both participate in. And then at the end of the day, we do have our shared daily that we talked about in another video. Boundaries video, right?
Yeah, we talked about this one in the boundaries video, I think,
yeah. And that is our trust discussions.
And I will link the video down below in case you missed the boundaries video. You can learn more about what goes on in the trust discussion there.
And then after our trust discussion, we go into our swing. No, just kidding, not like that. What we do for swing is actually we find a nice song to dance to, nice slow song, and then we just stand there, hold each other.
And that's more for like a physical connection, physically touching each other in a non-sexual way. That will help us to bond and connect and just have that moment to ourselves at least once a day because, life gets crazy.
Yeah, and so we just stand there as if we were dancing, just we're not really moving our feet. They stay kind of implanted where we are. And then once the song ends, we finish with a kiss.
TMI.
And then that's it. And that's the end of our daily activities together.
And I will say that I find that swaying helps a lot. Or has helped a lot in our connection. Just touching each other, like holding each other, just helps me to feel safe again. And we do this even if we're upset at each other. We do this especially if we're upset at each other. Helps us to kind of like relieve that stress and kind of like calm down again. And it's just been really nice. It's been really helpful to our marriage and to our connection.
Alright guys, so that's about the end of our video on dailies. The important thing to take away from this is that no matter how many activities you do or what you do throughout the day or how long you do them for, it's important for you to find something that works for you, that helps you in your day, to just be able to manage the day, to have positive thoughts, and be able to overcome the temptations of pornography addiction and its use. Also, those activities need to become habitual. Not mindless to where you're just doing them and without thinking about them, but to where you're just getting them done. It's something that you want to do. I know for me that when I don't do them, I really feel the effects of them throughout the day. My days just aren't as easy to get through. But yeah, you want them to be as habitual as like hanging up your car keys when you walk in the door. Put them in the same spot. Brushing your teeth in the morning and the evenings. And again, like we said, medication. You got an illness or sickness, you need to take that medication every day or as prescribed. Alright guys, that wraps up our video. We hope you enjoyed and learned something, take away something that can improve your life. But please like the video, subscribe to our channel so you can get our update weekly videos. And if you have any questions or comments, you can either comment below or email us and we can respond that way. But most importantly, share the video.
Thank you guys again, and we'll see you next time.